In this demonstration, we're going to see how to manage endpoints. Now, as you can see, as yet, I have none set up. What I'll do, though, is I'll go to the plugins page to see what are my candidates for setting up endpoints. Right now, I have a REST plugin, which allows me to execute tasks that perform RESTful gets or posts or whatever it is that you're using against a target system. A Rally platform plugin, which would allow me to connect to CA Agile Central, and a release automation plugin, which would allow me to access one of several instances of CA release automation that you may have. But in order for me to access those systems, I have to have an endpoint. And so what I'll do is go back to my endpoint page, and let's set up two different ones here. The first one we'll do will be a way to access CA release automation in the context of being able to import applications and environments, or also to be able to run a deployment in that system against those applications and environments. So I'll add a new endpoint here, and I'm going to tell it that this is my CA release automation endpoint on the RA server machine. And I'll select the endpoint type, which in this case is release automation. Then I need to give it a URL to tell it how to reach that application. So in this case, it's http:// RA server is the host at port 8080. So that's how to connect to release automation in this case. Now I need to give it some credentials. We're going to let it access release automation as the super user identity here, and the password will be suser in this particular case. So I'll add that. And now I have a new endpoint set up for release automation on that RA server machine. Right, now a second one I could add, as we saw, would be related to our RESTful plugin. And there's only so many programmed actions that I can do against release automation through the RA plugin. But if I wanted to do some additional actions against RA, then I could use a REST plugin for that. So this is going to be my RA RESTful endpoint. And again, I'll need to give it the URL for that, which in this particular case is very similar to what I just did. It is the RA server, and it is at that port 8080, but I'll need a bit more. Data management /a/API. That's how to get to the RESTful services for this instance of release automation. But my credentials are the same. Super user at the suser password there. I'll add that. And now, as before, I have a second endpoint to the same location, CA release automation, except this time with the ability to use RESTful tasks. All right, so this is how you can set up new endpoints.